Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in today's individual review and in today's specific session on books from our library. New angle, just so we can actually get a little more representation of the books that we have here. Today's video is going to be slightly different. It's going to be a bit more personal actually. So, we're going to be talking about this book, selected works of Byron Keats and Shelley. We actually have the entire collection. The green books over here, they're these actually. And when I used to be in school, actually, when I used to be a teenager in Frobels, Islamabad, I used to love reading this book. I used to really love spending hours looking into this work, and it was my first exposure to Byron actually. The very first time when I actually came across Byron was this one poem over here, which was made of Athens. Ere we part, give, oh give me back my heart, or since that has left my breast, keep it now and take the rest. Hear my vow before I go. And in Greek, which translates to my love, I love you. This doesn't change the fact that some of his other works in it are actually really epic. The destruction of Sennacherib, for instance, which is in this. Oh, the Assyrians came down like the wolves on the fold, and his cohorts were gleaming in purple and gold, and the sheen of their spears was like stars on the sea when the blue waves rolled nightly on deep Galilee. Like the leaves of the forest when summer is green, that hosts with their banners at sunset were seen like the leaves of the forest when autumn had blown, that host on the morrow lay withered and strown. I could go like this, and there are many other poems actually like this in this collection. And if you're able to get the complete copy, if you're lucky, I mean, we were donated this work over here, but if you're able to get a complete copy of this, I strongly recommend it simply because of the nostalgia. However, majority of these poems are public domain. They're free. They're very commonly posted over on majority of these poetry websites, So definitely recommended if you want to give them a try, if you want to give them a look. And definitely something that you could consider. Oh, by the way, Percy Shelley is in this as well. Percy Shelley, most of you would probably be aware of him because of his work, because of his sister actually, Mary Shelley, the lady who actually was the writer of the work Frankenstein. But Percy Shelley is Ozymandias. The man wrote Ozymandias, and I know of it after. It's coincidence. It's just coincidence. Actually, the poems that I was just flipping through right now were specifically on Coleridge, on Adonius. When John Keats passed away, he wrote this multi-canto poem dedicated to John Keats. And it's interesting that most of these humanists, most of these humanism believing poets and such, they were very much focused on these Greek and these very Greek approaches towards life, So what I'm getting at is it's definitely worth having, but you are able to find these poems online. They're available to a very significant extent online, and strongly recommended that you give them a look. For all intents and purposes, they're the most representative poems of their era. And like Ozymandias is especially famous. For those who've been following For those who've been watching Breaking Bad, they'd probably know it as the poem which Bryan Cranston is reciting in the episode that is called Ozymandias. It's near the ending of Breaking Bad, so definitely worth listening to the poem from very good sources for all intents and purposes. But when we talk of John Keats, he has written a lot of famous poems, don't get me wrong. The reason why he's most well known like among many other poems that he's worked on, Endymion, like A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever, which was one of his earlier poems. But that is the earliest works that he wrote. He was also famous for his variation on the sonnets themselves, something which I actually used to write as a kid as well. And they would always write poems to each other, and they'd be in wild adventures. So especially Byron, he was one of the primary architects of the Greek independence, of the independence of the Greeks against the Ottomans. Hence why they actually used to speak Greek. It was more of a political statement than anything else. Although, with that said, John Keats is a milder version of the both of them, of Percy Shelley and John Byron, mostly because he had a very tragic death. I think it's over here as well. Let me just a moment. Let me. Yeah, 1795 to 1821. He was very much. He was just barely 30. 1795 to 1805 is 10. 1805 to 1815 is 20, and around the time when the Napoleonic Wars concluded. So, yeah, 1815 to 1825 would have made him 30, but clearly he passed away in 1821, so he was 26 years old when he passed away. Yeah, A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever. And he's quite a big name in and of himself. La Belle Dame Sans Merci. The beautiful lady without mercy, without pity or piety, and merci, without gratitude, without thanks actually, because at the end of the day it is a French title, so which he knew, all of them knew. Strongly recommended, especially if you're able to find these poems online. Just to drop a couple of names in: The Destruction of Sennacherib, Maid of Athens, The King of Balthazar, La Belle Dame Sans Merci, and Endymion especially, and Ozymandias, which is obvious enough. Adonais for works that were specifically associated with John Keats, Percy Shelley, and Lord Byron. So definitely worth checking out in that regard. And first time that we've covered a green book from the collection, so yeah, consider that a success. So till next time.